Hey guys, so for today's video, I'm finally doing a video on my floating island. I've moved it over into the sun just so we've got a bit better of a view. As you can see, it's on a egg chair stand, and the island is a 3D printed island. It was printed in about 8 pieces. I added a little bridge and a little guy fishing. And it's got a little river, and the river's got resin in it, and all rocks, real dirt, real rocks, all that sort of stuff. I did originally think about setting a little water pump up to this, so it was a functional river, but being that it was going to be an outside tree, I figured there was kind of no point. Okay, so the tree is a Benjamina Ficus, however you say it. Don't know why I keep pronouncing it as Ficus rather than Ficus. Don't know why. But yeah, well, I set the island up to be an actual floating island on this braided wire, rather than having it on a chain or a stick or anything like that. More so it had a bit of free movement, like it wasn't going to be stuck in the one spot, like it would blow around in the wind. And yeah, again, if it had been a inside tree, I was considering making some sort of mechanism up the top with a little motor in it, just to spin the actual island, so the island would just constantly be rotating. Might be something I'll do in the future, just for if I decide to display it somewhere or something. But yeah, essentially it started off with a 3D print. I didn't actually even have the tree. It was more just I'm going to design it, get it ready, and then when I find the right tree for it, add the tree into it. Speaking of the tree, I actually came across a fella on Facebook, on Marketplace, who was selling a whole bunch of these. I believe he had them as shrubs all the way along his fence line, and they'd just grown like that naturally. But he was in fire ant territory, and I messaged him and just said, is any possibility that you'd ship one down to New South Wales for me? And he said, I'll go and have a look at the post office and see what they say about it, and if they say it's okay, I'm happy to send you one if you want to pay the postage. So he went to the post office and they told him if he was going to be sending a tree, it'd need to be bare rooted, being that he was in fire ant territory. So to make it worthwhile, I bought 2 of the trees off him, and they were both bare rooted and both sort of hedge cut just to fit in the box. So they weren't really pruned or anything, they were just essentially hedged, like just chopped a bit smaller. Both trees arrived. I planted this one literally straight onto this, and it's been on it since. It's probably got about 2 inches of depth from the ground level, so to speak. So it's probably about 2 inches down from there is about how deep it is. And there's drainage holes underneath that are 3D modelled into it. And out of the 2 trees, this one just worked better for this island. The other tree was the one I originally picked for the island, and then I was like, I may as well make it worth me while and get 2 of the trees. And the second one, being this one here, was the one that ended up working better for the island. As you can see here, this is all real moss. It's not fake grass or anything like that, it's all real actual growing moss. My house, this side of the house and over this side of the veranda, all along here we get lots and lots and lots of moss. So I've been collecting it and just putting it in a tray with some sphagnum moss just to grow it and just to get it nice and green like it is there. This tree here is normally not in this spot. It's normally over under the big tree over the back there. More so because the heat during the day just kills this stuff. It just makes it look horrible. Turns it brown, kills it, dries it out, and it's just better off being over there where it just gets partial shade. But this has been on here for about 6 months or so. Oh, actually, probably not even 6 months, just under, I'd say. And she's looking nice and healthy. You can see the trunk's got some beautiful movement in it. Haven't really needed to wire much. I did wire it when I first got it and planted it, just to sort of spread that canopy out a little bit, because it was really bunched in. But I'm quite happy with how it's progressing at the moment. And yeah, pretty happy with that as an overall design. When I first designed this, my initial thought was get one of the egg chairs stands, but I couldn't find one, and they are damn expensive to buy brand new. After a good few weeks of looking for one on Marketplace to try and find one second hand, I ended up finding this one for $80, and it was white like that originally. I sanded it back. There was a little bit of surface rust on it. I sanded it all back, hit it with some barbecue paint, which was rust proofing paint as well. So essentially we got that done. And then this top hoop, because I didn't really want the wires going straight into the point, I was trying to think of something I could use as a ring at the top, and I found a basketball hoop on Marketplace for like $10. And I got the basketball hoop, I grinded off all the little net holders, I grinded off the plate that holds it to the wall, so it was essentially just a ring. And then I hit it with the barbecue paint as well, just to prevent any rust. I got some of this braided wire. It was rated for 145 kilos, so I figured it should be good enough. Not liking the fact that it's starting to rust, but I don't think there's a great deal I can do about that. I'll probably just replace those wires over time as they get gross and ugly, as the wire was only cheap anyway. Anyway, I'll give you a quick sticky beak at the other tree that I got with this one. Okay, you'll have to excuse me, I've got a couple of trees in front of it. I'll just get this fella out of the way. But that was the original tree that I did pick for it. I was going off photos as well, mind you, for the when I was picking them. And this is the pot from that fella there. If you've seen my short that I posted the other day, that tree there was originally in that pot. I transferred it into that one because it's just a bit longer and I give it a bit more breathing room. And that tree just seems to suit better with that pot. You can see a couple of leaves have started to yellow and die off a little tiny bit, but I think that's just from the repot. As you can see with this one, I've not really wired it or anything, so you can see how it's really bunched in and really compact. That's how the other one was, and I kind of just wired it out a little bit just to give it a bit of movement. But yeah, both beautiful trees. Both got beautiful movement in the trunks. This one seems to have fused itself up here in this branch. So we've got those two branches kind of fused together. But yeah, that was the second tree. So I've got both of those from North Queensland and got them shipped down. Anyway, that was about it for the video. I more just wanted to do an all-round video on my floating island. I do have another smaller floating island in the works, nowhere near as big as this one. I'm likely going to be putting a Port Jackson fig on this smaller island, and the smaller one will also be likely be held up by a piece of acrylic rod rather than hanging. And I believe I will be putting this guy on it. This little tiny Port Jackson fig. Although that remains to be seen. I still have to print it and everything yet. So anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.